Well, welcome to this edition of Spireites Extra Time, the post Gillingham, pre Harrogate edition, if you will, fresh from the game itself last night. It was a tough one. Paul Fisher and Liam Norcliffe with you, and we'll get straight into it. Liam, Gillingham away, Chesterfield's worst result there since 1987, 10-0 Tonking. Neither of us could see that coming.
Oh dear, oh dear. What was it we said on our last pod? We don't think there'll be many goals. It'll be quite a tight game. What do we know, hey?
No.
Yeah, it's a tough one, isn't it? Night to forget. I mean, you've I suppose just like the Bristol Rovers game, you just sort of dive straight into the main talking point, and that's the first penalty, which just isn't a penalty, is it?
No.
It's Zach Hemming clearly gets to the ball first. Whether the referee has given it for the sort of collision afterwards, that Hemming sort of gets the ball and then Andrews runs into him and maybe feels that Hemming clears him out, but no, it's not a penalty. You can just see by the direction of the ball as well, which I just didn't understand the referee's view on that because Hemming sort of comes out, gets a foot to the ball, and it goes in the direction that he kicks it,
It's a great
basically.
tackle, isn't it?
Yeah. Frustrating thing is the linesman overrules, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He according to Danny Webb, the linesman said it's not a penalty, but the referee, I mean, is within his right to do that, but the referee apparently said not and stuck with his original decision. Um, so yeah, and there was nothing in the game at that point, was there?
No.
It was 0-0. It was pretty scrappy. Couple of half chances for Chesterfield before then. Tom Naylor whipping one past the near post. Ronan Darcy forcing a save and almost stretching to another one. Other than that, Chesterfield just weren't in any danger, were they?
No, not at all. You could sense their tactics straight away with Nevitt and Andrews, two bustling centre forwards from the very much of the 1980s mould. Every time they launched the ball up to them, they were workmanlike. They were in Chesterfield's faces. They've got to work out a way to combat that type of football in the middle of the park. And I want to use a different phrase from soft underbelly because Chesterfield haven't got that. But I need to. What's an example of something different to a soft underbelly than bullied? That's to the extreme, isn't it? It goes from one way to the other. So perhaps it's somewhere in between, Liam.
Yeah, I've used this word before. It just needs to be a bit more streetwise, I think.
Yeah.
And I think it's a one-off game, isn't it? Let's not throw him under the bus too
Well, yeah,
soon.
they'd only
Obviously,
conceded one goal, hadn't they, until that point?
yeah, obviously it goes back to last season as well. So, but this is a this double figure players have come in. This is a different team. There's lots of different players, and obviously we'll come on to it in a minute. But we'll see if they can learn from it because they're going to be up against a very similar style on Saturday against Harrogate, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, they'll be more, I think, effective in your face than Gillingham would be in terms of in the midfield. I think they tend to not play with two up front. They tend to leave one up front and with wingers. So they'll be more in the boss in the midfield, won't they? And it'll be their defenders that are trying to attack Chesterfield in that way. So Chesterfield are going to have to again work out a slightly different style that Harrogate game, similar but not the same in the fact that it's not long ball, but it's in your face and try and hassle you. It's the press, isn't it, that they get every time that Chesterfield can't seem to have time on the ball. When they did get time on the ball, though, Liam, they scored a brilliant goal. I mean, the passing movement and everything was fantastic from Dobra to start with a cross. Great ball in from Vontae Daly Campbell. Lovely layoff from Grigg. And there was Dobra, and you just thought, right, bang, we're in. And then something we haven't seen all season. is just a simple long ball pumped down the area for that one, and then smashed in by the home debutant. And we've not seen that all season. In fact, I don't think we saw it much last season, did we? Just a long, a proper old school long ball down the ground. I mean, I don't know what the defence were doing, but it's a shocker to concede 2 minutes after scoring.
That was the killer goal, wasn't it? Forget
Yeah,
the fourth one because that was just late on and the game was done by then anyway. But the third one was the killer one because you've just pulled a goal back, you've got yourself back in the game, and then 3 minutes later, it's just so deflating again to find
mm,
yourselves 2 goals down again. And it's just a long ball that travelled a long way.
yeah,
Shea Dunkley got caught underneath it and anticipated it, and it went flying over his head. Bonte Daly Campbell lets it bounce, and then McFadden doesn't react quick enough, isn't strong enough, and the young lad just goes and hammers it in, doesn't he?
yeah.
Yeah, such a soft goal, schoolboy defending, and the type of goal really that you wouldn't expect Chesterfield to concede with McFadden and Dunkley at the back. I know that they've come in for a little bit of criticism regarding the lack of pace, and we can all sort of see that, but for them not to deal with a straight ball down the middle is a bit unusual because every game they're just so dominant in the air. You know, the stats show that they're winning silly amounts of aerial duels. And yeah, it was just such a killer blow. And then yeah, like I said, the fourth goal is it is what it is. It's an individual mistake, isn't it? And the game's probably already done by then.
Well, indeed, we've seen Dunkley and McFadden win Man of the Match awards leading into last night's game, so it shows that they're not necessarily the problem. They're just an easy target once you get to 38, and they're just an easy target, aren't they? Really, I think. Paul Cook obviously has trust in them with their experience. A League One and League Two title winning manager has trust in a 33 and a 38-year-old defenders. I think he knows a little bit more about it than you and I to criticise, or even some your average supporter there. So that they've done okay tonight. Last night, hopefully, was just a one-off. Um, Hopefully, in that respect, going forward, but they will face sides who will try to do that to them. So how do they combat that? Um,
Mm.
is the big question, isn't it? So, and that's one
Well, I
will
think
we don't know the future, do we? So,
no, I think that's the question, isn't it? Because we've talked about how they have actually ticked the boxes this season against those teams, against Barrow,
mm.
against Cheltenham, against Bristol Rovers. They have ticked those boxes in the first half against Mansfield as well.
No,
But I mean,
and for 30, I'm sorry, for 45 minutes, I guess it was working against
yeah,
Gillingham.
it was, to be honest, it was an absolute nothing first 25 minutes.
Mm.
Couple of half chances. Um, it would look like it was going to be 0-0, to be honest. We had 0-0 written all over it. And the first goal, I think that's probably why the Paul Cook was so angry about it, is that the first goal is so key, isn't it? Especially when you are facing a team like Gillingham. You go 1-0 down against them, and the most you are probably getting is a point because they're on a good unbeaten run going back to last season. They don't score many goals, but they don't concede many either. So I think that's probably where that extra anger comes from. We've not spoken about the second penalty. Just I think
Yeah.
it's more of a penalty. In quick time, Stirk dangles a leg and gives the referee a decision to make, just like we said against Bristol Rovers with the Dobra. Again, you could probably look at the reaction of Nevitt, that he sort of jumped straight back up off his feet and fist pumps the home crowd as if to say, I won that penalty.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
he's
He,
definitely conned him. Yeah.
he didn't spin round on the floor and look back at the ref to say, are you going to give that? He fist pumped as if to say, I've won us that. And again, that came at a bad time to concede as well, didn't it?
Yeah, I mean, looking 5 minutes into the second half, Chesterfield couldn't deal with the player, and they didn't dive in terms of that. It was a forward pass, and Sturks not even gone to challenge him. Apparently there was a handball in the build up. I couldn't see that at all. From where we looked, it looked like Sturker tripped him up. We've seen the replays afterwards, and he dived. Um, but you can see why the referee gave that because what he's seen, the angle that he's seen, is Sturk with his leg out and Nevitt performing a bit of a swan dive, like you do, like you shimmy your leg, shimmy your body away from the leg as if he's tripped you up. And he's right, he's gone down and he's conned the referee and done exactly what he's wanted to do and got the decision. And no wonder he's, fist bump in the air. He's managed to hoodwink the referee, hasn't he? So, but you can see why the referee's given it because the angle that he saw would have been it looked like Sturk had tripped him because that angle that we saw from the press box, which is high up, it looked a penalty all day long, But on obviously on reflection, it's one that sort of hoodwinked the referee in that respect. But you haven't got VAR, so you can't go back and check these, can you? So you've got to take them at face value, really. Unfortunately,
But if we move the two penalty decisions aside,
yes.
Chesterfield deserved to lose that game.
Oh
You know,
yes, that third goal
there's
in
no arg-
particular was one.
maybe
Yeah.
it wasn't a 4-1 game, that the scoreline looks heavy
Mm,
than the actual game itself. And there was absolutely nothing in the game for half an hour.
no.
But yeah, I just think they can't really have too many complaints overall regarding their own performance because they didn't really get going. What, like you say, it was a lovely move for the goal they did score, but there weren't too many other passages of play like that, were there?
No, I think they scored the fourth goal. There were a few moments where there were. I mean, Andrews was tired from chasing the ball. You could see that he was very leggy. Chesterfield passing the ball about nicely, trying to find a way, a breakthrough to get a second goal, and they almost got one with Lee Bonus had a header, didn't he?
Mm.
I think that was at 3-1. Um, and then obviously the fourth goal, like you said, it was just tiredness and going forward. It's not really sort of worth talking about, really, in many respects. But so yeah, overall, I think they would have got done. They would, they didn't play particularly 100%. The end of the day, it could have been a 0-0 because the big penalty decision in the first half really changed the sort of attitude. Some sides build on that with getting like it galvanizes them, doesn't it?
Mm.
But on other occasions, you see sides that sort of wilt a little bit. And I don't think Chesterfield wilted. It's just that they made the decisions at the wrong time. 5 minutes into the second half gives them a second opportunity to grab a 2-0 lead. And then it is a mountain to climb, isn't it? But Chesterfield did get one back. But then 2 minutes later, they conceded again. The goals came at the wrong time for Chesterfield, didn't they? So, and the perfect time for Gillingham.
Yeah, they've just got to find a way to stay in games a little bit more. Because Harrogate will be looking at that and licking their lips, won't they?
Yeah.
Because they play very, as we already said, play a very similar style. They're unbeaten as well, so that they'll have watched that game and will have highlighted, Chesterfield's so-called weaknesses. So they're going to have to learn and have to learn quickly. It's just, yeah, it's just disappointing. I think just sort of Chesterfield were ticking along nicely, going about their business nice and steadily. Not sparkling, but 3 wins out of 3. They probably had a few gears to go up, but yeah, they just. Whereas against Bristol Rovers, they were able to get back in it and wrestle control back and get back to playing football. They just never did that last night. Credit to Gillingham. They stopped them from playing as well. They were nothing spectacular in terms of on the eye, but I think Gareth Haynes was sort of praised how he's the work rate of his side.
Mm.
They had some injuries as well, so from their point of view, it's a very good win.
It was a good noise for 5,500 there as well, and full credit to the Chesterfield supporters that did make the journey down as well.
Absolutely.
Brilliant effort from them in it took the M25 was closed for a little while, so some fans didn't arrive until just before kickoff for that. So yeah, praise be for them. So not only did they have the 4-1 result, I lost my glasses as well as my distance glasses, and the power unit as well on my kit didn't work, so I had to borrow one from Matt Cole at BBC Radio Kent. I shall be eternally grateful for him for that. So many thanks, Matt, for that.
That
So I had
sums up the night then, doesn't
exactly.
it?
So I had a triple blow. Um, but one thing I did do, I managed to have a beer at the hotel as well. But it's a long trip down. It's a long trip back. I literally have only got back about an hour ago. So so yeah, it's never even though Chesterfield I've been there, done commentary as well, where Chesterfield have won the game. I've never gone away thinking it's a fabulous journey and I really want to go back. But it is one of the most it's one of the most grounds I've been to actually. So yeah, it's so let's hope we don't play them next season. So just
No, but
promoted.
I don't think they'll lose many. I don't
No,
think they'll.
no, they won't. Definitely not at home. It is quite intimidating there at
They probably need
Priestfield.
a little bit more firepower
Well, they've got
to get in
Sam
the top.
Vokes. They brought him on from the bench.
Yeah, and
So
Bradley Dyke to get in the top three. I think they probably need a bit more firepower, but
yeah,
yeah, I'd back them to pick up points. And
top seven. Do you think?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I predicted playoffs for them, and yeah, I think I'll stick with that. But
Um, Paul Cook picked up his third yellow card, Liam.
yeah,
He's getting close. Now we don't know whether if we're trying to work out whether the League Cup one counts towards his tally, but assuming it does, then he must be close to a one match ban.
yeah, it is three yellows. It's yeah, we'll have to look in the rule book, won't we? Have a look in the small print to see if the League Cup one counts as well. So yeah, it could be in the stands against Harrogate. Does make you wonder, doesn't it? He got booked sort of 2 minutes before the referee awarded the penalty, and being skeptical sometimes it does make you wonder whether that was still in the referee's mind a little bit. But
Mm,
you'd like to think not. But yeah, we need to see, don't we?
yeah,
Against Harrogate,
yeah.
bit of a bogey side. Don't really do well against them.
Never won that.
They've started the season really well. Like I say, unbeaten, beat Barrow 1-0 on Tuesday. I had them to struggle, to be honest. I imagine they've got quite a low budget, and I don't think they'd go down, but I thought they'd probably be in that bottom five or six teams. But they found themselves up there to start the season.
Yeah, I think they've got enough budget to cope, haven't they? They've got a wealthy owner. Um, so yeah, it's never an easy place to go, is it? It's quite a ground which Chesterfield never have success with. They lost 2-1 last season, didn't they? And that was
Mm.
controversial, wasn't it? That the first goal hit the referee. Is it first goal hit the referee? Or
I
was
think
it the first one was offside or something?
yeah, there was some
Um,
controversy.
it was, yeah, it hit the referee, didn't the game continued when it really shouldn't have done. And the first one was not a there was a free kick or a challenge outside the box or something. In between, James Berry scored one of the goals of the season, didn't he?
Yeah,
Having just come on
yeah,
as substitute. So I asked Danny Webb whether I asked Danny Webb whether James Berry be ready for Saturday. He said didn't say no, but he sort of gave that no
mm,
unlikely. Matt Dibley Diaz is available though for
yeah.
Saturday. That might not be the game for him though. Um,
No, I don't think so either.
yeah,
The hustle and bustle, he could end up taking another whack on the ankle, couldn't he? And that could be too much of a risk for him.
yeah.
Uh,
I don't know. I'm trying to. I'd struggle with changes really for the side.
Maybe Lee Bonus back in.
Lee Bonus definitely starts for me. Yeah. Um, um,
Other than that, mate, and Dylan Duffy.
yes, Dylan Duffy in place of Ronan Darcy or Dobra. So I keep wanting to drop Dobra. I don't know why. He scored 2 in 2 now, so I don't know why I should keep him in. So yeah, maybe Markande. I don't know. It might be time for him to have a little bit of a rest. But there's a week off in terms of fixtures after that. So then there's Crawley the week after that, isn't it? So Don't know really. It's a tough one to try and galvanise. I'm glad I'm not in the manager's shoes. He'd just come off a 4-1. The easy answer, isn't it, to change quite a few, isn't it?
Mm.
But you've been playing quite well up until that point.
I, I, I don't think he'll change too much. As we've said before, he likes to that continuity and stability of the back four and the two central midfielders. I mean, we spoke on the last pod about what a good points total would be, and we sort of said 4 points, didn't we? Or maybe three would still be a good return. Obviously, we're talking about maybe two draws to stay unbeaten, but yeah, I think 0 or 1 point would be a little. Well, it would be disappointing, wouldn't it? A point at Harrogate on its own isn't a
No,
uh, bad
in
result,
context, yeah, in
but
context.
but after losing 4-1 at Gillingham, you'd probably drop out of the top three, even though it is still early days and really you're not looking at the table too much. But of course, you don't want to fall too far behind either. There's only probably sums up the league that we're 4 games in, and there's only Crewe who've got a 100% record. They've won 4 from 4, and Grimsby are unbeaten. So I think a couple of others as well with Gillingham and Bromley. So everyone will beat everyone. Everyone will take points off everyone. And as we saw in the second half of last season, if you put a run together, then you can fly up the league.
Yeah, if you put a good one or a bad one. I mean, Walsall just missed out on automatic promotion on the last day of the season, didn't they, with their bad run? So yeah, in fact, we got Walsall next month, so to take into account. So Chesterfield owe them one, but they got to do Harrogate first, and you'll get some jellyless Yorkshire pork pies there, Liam, which we had last
Yeah,
year, which was
very
very
nice,
nice,
weren't it?
wasn't it?
Yeah, they were very nice actually. Yeah,
Mm.
um, yeah. Well, it's a bit of a squeeze in the press box there. I'm not going to lie, isn't it? It's
Very much
tight.
so, yes. Yes, I'm not the sveltest of figure anymore as well, so I'm gonna have to try and work out where I'm gonna put all my equipment. So yeah, it's not easy. It's not an easy one.
No, no.
Um, I'm trying to think of any player that came out with any credit, I suppose, last night. I'm struggling really. Dobra, I
Yeah,
suppose, but like is it just because he scored,
I thought
maybe.
flashes from Darcy again.
Yeah,
We had the shot that was saved, and thought there was some couple of decent moments from him. Thought Grigg really struggled up front to make anything stick, but he still got an assist, didn't he? Dobra
yeah.
got on the score sheet for the second game running. Not the 100th appearance for Tom Naylor for the club that he would have wanted.
No, and credit to him for that as
Uh,
well, So in the last year of his contract, making his 100th appearance, but on the 4-1 drubbing there really is not how he wanted it, I'm sure.
Ryan Stirk not really able to play his game, was he? I think probably down to I think the pitch looked very dry, which is probably worth pointing out for the McFadzean back pass because I think that got stuck a little bit.
Yeah,
Uh,
well, they'd heavily watered it before the start of the game. And it was sort of as they were passing it, it was actually it must have been where the grass was a little bit long because they were passing it and it was sort of holding up a little bit.
mm,
So I do think that played into the account that because the grass was long, the water had gone by then. So yeah, I think you're right. It probably was a bit dry. But having said that, it was a little bit undercut, wasn't it? And gave Hemming a real sort of oh, I've got to get there, and he did get there to be fair, and he won the tackle fair and square, but not according to the referee, who was quite quick, and he was the referee who refereed Chesterfield at Bromley last year in the 2-2 game. So yeah, but Danny Webb said, as he mentioned after the Bristol Rovers game, sometimes you get those decisions, sometimes you don't. You can't change them. You got to live with them. You can make complaints as much as you can. You've just got to get on with the game. You know.
yeah, like I say, the I mean the decision certainly had a better an effect on the game. You can't deny that because it was 0-0 and
Yeah.
Gillingham allowed the opportunity to go 1-0 up, and then whether people think the second one is a penalty as well, maybe 2-0 up. But yeah, it's just that third goal and maybe the performance overall. Maybe Gillingham just deserved it on work ethic and endeavour anyway.
Mm.
You can't concede 4 goals away from home and say that you were unlucky or that you deserved a point. It's a heavy scoreline, isn't it?
Indeed, Paul Cook was livid as well. He spoke to Talk Sport.
Mm.
He did an interview with the club, but I don't think it's probably going to be. It's probably rated 18, so I think wisely they've kept it away. Probably protect the manager more than anything else, I think. So yeah. Obviously he didn't speak to Radio Sheffield, but Danny Webb was a little bit more lucid in his thoughts, and you can catch that on BBC Sounds as well on your Chesterfield page. So if you haven't heard it so far, but even he was critical of the referee in that respect. Not aggressively so, that he just disagreed with his opinion. That's all. So, and even Gareth Ainsworth, by understand, I didn't hear his thoughts, but I understand he said the first one wasn't a penalty.
Yeah, he admitted that as well. He was. I suppose it's easier for him to say after a 4-1 win, isn't it?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
you could see Paul Cook and Gareth Ainsworth having a bit of a chat as they came back out for the second half, and it looked like that the penalty was what they were talking about, and they were in agreement about it.
Mm.
So yeah, we just need to see a little bit more steeliness, a little bit more grit, get back to basics on Saturday. Chesterfield will get back to imposing their game on the opposition as well as doing the ugly and dirty side of the game, and then hopefully get a positive result. 3 points out of 6 from those two wouldn't be too bad, and yeah, well they would stay in the top three, and then back at home for Crawley the following week.
Indeed, yes. So looking forward no, I was saying looking forward to Harrogate. It's a nice place, but yeah, the exercise stadium, Wetherby Road, is where Chesterfield will find themselves as well. What you'll find Liam and I is doing a podcast next Monday. That'll be our post-match reflection of Harrogate, with a throw forward to Crawley at the end of next week. You got any exclusives for next week? Because there's no games on. You've had a really few things to talk about, haven't you?
Do you know what I was going to say? Maybe we should just do podcasts on Mondays because they're a lot happier than doing them on Wednesdays,
Yeah,
aren't they? At the minute, the
yeah,
last two have been absolutely miserable
yeah.
after the last midweek games. So maybe we should just do pods on Mondays from now on.
Yes, indeed. And we're also heading towards deadline day, aren't we? So I think what we might do is because deadline day is on a Monday, the 1st of September. This is a throw forward for all the subscribers as well, is that we might wait until everything's been done, and then we'll either do it at the night time at whatever time the thingy finishes. So we've got
It's
that,
earlier
or
this year.
it's
Yeah,
early, so
it's
we could do it
it's
on the
it's
night time.
it's 7 o'clock because
Brilliant.
it's usually midnight, isn't it? But they brought it forward to
Right.
7.
So
So
we might have a late night pod for you then.
yeah,
We could do a live one if anything.
yeah, we could
So
do
yeah.
that.
Mm. So we discussed the transfers of the day. Chesterfield may be involved, they may not be
Mm.
in that, but there'll certainly be some League Two talking points as well, won't they?
Yeah,
With that
yeah.
going forward. So thanks very much for subscribing and whatnot. Thanks for your time again, Liam. And everybody like and subscribe. You can follow Liam's page on Derbyshire Times and BBC Sounds for everything like that. I'm trying to think if there's any other links we could do. I'll try and put them below. But yeah, any last words, Liam?
Yeah, just thanks for everyone who's been watching so far, and we've had some nice comments. If anyone's got any sort of suggestions of what they'd like us to discuss going forward, we can have a think about that. And yeah, just keep liking, subscribing, and sharing your thoughts.
Yeah, thank you very much. And we'll be back again on Monday. And hopefully, we'll be talking about a big 3 points. So come on, you Spireites.